My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
Fred Rubino going to be with us in just a second here, and his comedic and unique take on news, always a treat to get into on Fridays. We're also going to do our Legends of Laughter series here in a second, which is honoring deceased funny men and women. And actually, let's do that right now, and then we'll welcome in Fred Rubino after that. But in this clip, Matt Blaze, from The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, Don Rickles sits alongside Frank Sinatra, as both men were Johnny's guests that night. Cut 12.
Listen, can I tell a story about what this man did to me once? You may have known or heard about this. It was a true story. This is a long time ago, long before Don got married. I was eating dinner in a restaurant in New York, and I was sitting with some friends, and he came over to the table, and he said, "Frank, do me a favor, will you?" He said, "I'm sitting with a very pretty girl, and I'm trying to make out, you know." And he said, "I told her I know you, and she really doesn't believe me. Would you stop by the table?" I said, "All right." I was just about finished. I was down to the espresso, and finally he went back, and I walked by the table, and I said, "How are you, Don? Nice to see you." He said, "Can't you see I'm eating, Frank? What are you doing?" And I went for the whole thing. I stood with my mouth open. He said, "Can't you see I'm trying to make out with this girl?" He said, "What are you doing bothering me?"
So that's our Legends of Laughter series. I love that story. Don Rickles was the man, as were Frank and Johnny. But I can only hope that someday I have enough notoriety that, you know, Fred Rubino will be trying to impress some client or something like that, and he'll be like, "Oh, you're a fan of talk radio? Oh, well, you know, James Flippin, I go on his show all the time. Come on over. Let's have him over." And then I'll come over and I'll say, "Hey, guys, really nice. I hear you guys are listeners." And then Fred will be like, why are you bothering us? Nobody cares about talk radio. Get out of here. That would be a Don Rickles move.
I just don't want to be in the dead comedy section.
You are far from being featured on the Legends of Laughter segment, my friend. And that's not because you are not, in fact, a legend that can make us laugh, but it's because you are thankfully on this side of the plane, and we're happy to have you, as we always do, on Fridays.
It's good to be alive.
And people should check out Fred Rubino on social media and fredrubino.com, because you can find out about his upcoming gigs, which include, from what I understand, the Paisan Con.
Paisan Con in East, where is that? Rutherford, New Jersey, this Saturday. A lot of Soprano stars, a lot of movie stars, sports stars, and a couple of Italian comics.
Very nice.
Me being one of them.
Fred Rubino included.
Oh, it's gonna be a hoot, as they say.
So do you have like material that's specifically for the Italian demographic, or is it sort of
I'll
bends
key in on
direction?
the Italian thing,
Nice.
but I might do some current events. It all depends, you know. It all depends how drunk I get.
Well, that's a good barometer to follow. I've always found that works. As a matter of fact, I'm going to a wedding later today, so I'll be following that same same level of measurement. All right, so how about this, Fred? Let's do some news stories. I actually talked about a different Pittsburgh Pirates story earlier tonight, because this kid fell off the right field wall all the way down on the field level, and got really badly hurt, but I guess he's sort of on the mend, so we're happy to hear that.
That's good.
In this case, the Pirates, the baseball team, have suspended an employee because video shows him punching and whipping a fan with a belt in a post-game fight.
That's old school.
The belt? You like that? You're using a belt? You giving you flashbacks to like your dad or something like that?
You know, there's something about being at a sporting event that brings out the worst in people. You know, they yell the most horrendous things. They think it's okay around all these strangers and people they don't even know. I think it's the beer.
That's probably a good observation. I mean, we were talking about, your Paisan con is going to be influenced by how drunk you get.
Yes.
Most of the time, your experience at the baseball game definitely influenced by how much beer you have.
Yeah, people don't know how to handle their beer, and that's always the excuse. Oh, the guy had too much to drink. I wish that was acceptable in regular society. Like you have a few beers, you're at the Thanksgiving table.
Right.
And you just yell across to your in-laws, "You suck!" you know?
Yeah.
Or you get a chant.
Boo!
Yeah. Drop dead grandma. That's it. Then I could see.
Then you could, in essence, because you got the built-in excuse, I had too much to drink.
I had a couple of beers.
So, like, do you have to have like a little built-in press conference as well? Like, I'd like to apologize.
No. You're locked up by then. If you don't get locked up, you didn't drink enough.
It says the employee appeared to land 5 punches in the head.
Nice.
But the fan stayed on their feet. Later, the fan is seen spitting on the employee, and that's when the employee takes off the belt and starts whipping the fan.
I like it. It's an old school belt whipping. That's the humiliation factor. It's one thing if you get punched out by someone. When he takes his belt off, I mean, I haven't seen somebody getting whipped with a belt since my bachelor party. So,
and that was in a much different context.
Well, it cost $50, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, that's a deal actually in this day and age.
Good deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it was before inflation.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the Pittsburgh Pirates, obviously they're gonna have to deal with that situation,
yes.
But they've suspended that employee. So how about this one, Fred? Michelle Obama says that she is in therapy for transitioning into her next phase in life.
How many times is this person going to transition? Who is she, the wolf man?
I felt like I was throwing you an alley-oop on that one.
Oh, every full moon, this woman transitions. It's crazy. I haven't heard the word transitioning my whole life. Over the last 4 years, every day, either in the news or somebody coming out and transitioning. I got to start using it more. I think that's the new word. I think I'm just behind the times.
Yeah, maybe, transitioning. You could say something like metamorphosis, maybe.
Well, you just keep on using it because they use it anytime. It's like I'm transitioning from breakfast to lunch today.
Right.
I didn't take a shower. I'm transitioning from from dirty to clean.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It.
And actually, sometimes, depending on the venue you're in, you have to change your act that same way, right?
I'm transitioning from clean
dirty,
to filthy dirty.
Totally blue or, whatever it may be.
Depending on the beer.
Absolutely, right? Like you said. So, no, your point is well-founded in terms of Michelle Obama, because what she says is that she considers this therapy to be a tune-up.
This is a person who is never a victim. She doesn't know how to become a victim. She wants to be a victim. But she's filthy rich with no obligations, nothing to have to answer to, and she's reaching for something. What could I be a victim from? I'm going to be richer now. Mm-hmm. She's so... Just go away. I mean, she reminds me of someone who says, like... somebody gave me a bag of money, but it was too heavy, and I threw my back out.
It was hard on my back to carry the money. They should have really thought of that. Maybe had some sort of like a little cart for me to carry it in, or write me a check.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know how to be a victim. She wants to be, but she can't. She reminds me of those people who said there was a McDonald's a mile from my house, and now I'm fat.
It was the McDonald's fault.
Yes,
anyways.
And I'm suing McDonald's. These people have sued McDonald's.
For being fat?
For being fat.
I mean, I know about like the coffee, the woman who poured the coffee on her lap. That was very famous.
No, they sued McDonald's because they're fat. Because
Wow.
they eat there 4 times a day.
But see, I don't like that because that makes me nervous that like McDonald's is going to have to say, okay, we can't have our burgers taste as good as they do because we have to respond to this lawsuit. Now we're worried we're going to get sued. If they don't taste good, maybe we won't get sued.
I don't think McDonald's is changing anything. I think they're leaving the sawdust in the burgers.
That's what I want to hear, Fred. No transitioning for the McDonald's burgers, okay?
Yes.
No metamorphosis.
No.
And I was thinking that for you, maybe we don't use the term metamorphosis, but maybe just molt.
I'm a molt man.
Like you drop the skin, you move on, it's a new skin. That's your transition. And actually, Michelle Obama has faced some rumors with her and President Obama that maybe their marriage is a little bit on the rocks. Have you heard about that?
Well, the man is he's busy. He killed his cook. Things like that.
That kind of was moved off the headlines very fast, wasn't it?
He drowned in 1 foot of water. Championship swimmer. I know every time I kill like a cleaning lady, my wife threatens to leave me.
Yeah.
So I completely understand.
Right. That tends to happen. The wife
It puts a damper on
the
things.
wife tends to, it kind of ruins Mother's Day when you do that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's see. How do we think about this one, Fred? 2 Belgian teenagers were found with 5,000 ants in Kenya, and they were given either a 1-year prison sentence. You like that in Kenya? You like the Belgian teens in Kenya?
I tell you, there's so much wrong with this story.
Either a $7,700 fine, so our New York affiliate on Big Apple like that, $770, or the 1-year prison sentence for the 5,000 ants in Kenya, Belgian teenagers.
The United States gives Kenya money, millions of dollars, to protect, and preserve their wildlife and stuff. Their lion skins, ivory, okay? All of these things. First of all, these things, the kids stole ants.
And why is that? I mean, is that some sort of like a high-end trafficking thing or something like that?
Why are they under arrest?
Well, let's see. I guess it's an illegal thing because they would have been able to make all this money in Asia and also some European markets.
It's always Asia. If it skeeves you, it's a delicacy in
right?
Asia.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Asian, surgeons. If I go to a surgeon and he's Asian, I walk out.
There was a
because as soon as he opens me up, everything in me is a delicacy.
It's fair game.
Yeah,
or they might sell. They could also potentially sell some organs.
Everything's on sale in Asia.
On sale
now. The tariffs, my liver is like 200% more.
That's a great point. You might get a good price for that. So yeah, the KWS, which I guess is maybe some sort of a court or prosecuting office, said that the illegal export of ants undermines Kenya's sovereign rights over biodiversity.
All of it. Look, they stole ants. That's crazy. Someone noticed the ants were missing. That boggles my mind. Someone counted how many ants they had. That's the worst job in Kenya.
That has to be among the lower rung of.
Go count how many. Listen, you're missing thousands of ants. Just leave a sandwich out overnight.
You'll show. They'll show up. Yeah, they will show up. Yeah, apparently they're eaten there in Kenya. So some of the people who are in essence defendants here say they didn't know there was anything wrong with it.
Of course, they're ants. And listen, you don't have to say that they eat that in Kenya. Just say it's alive.
It's taken for granted.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
And they'll eat it in Kenya.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We've got this one next, Fred. Senator John Fetterman in Pennsylvania is dismissing a former staffer's claims that he's on a bad trajectory.
Yeah, he's got all these allegations against him that he's not mentally fit. And I think they turned on him, As soon as, when he was babbling incoherently from the stroke, they loved him.
They did. I mean, yeah.
They loved
when he was
Kamala,
up against Dr. Oz.
They love Biden. But as soon as you start making a little sense, they turned on him. Now, I heard what he said. They saying you're not mentally fit. And he went to the podium and he said very distinctly, pancake seahorses, Jackie Chan. So... Who doesn't like Jackie
order?
Chan?
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And seahorses and pancakes.
I love all those things.
There's no reason to go against him. In fact, I think he made more sense than Kamala Harris's last speech.
And I think seahorses, to connect back to one of the other stories, they can transition. Seahorses can be either men or women, male or female, I should say.
Did you see that?
So it connects it all together.
They're ahead of their time.
But yeah, the John Fetterman thing is pretty crazy because as you're pointing out, he's sort of been maybe taking a more centrist track and talking about, that some of this stuff might make sense in terms of Israel-Palestine or Ukraine-Russia. And
all of a sudden, he's Jewish and they're shocked that he says, I'm against the killing of Jews. What?
Yeah.
And he's a genius, by the way, because they came out and they said, we saw him in the park and he looked disheveled. He always looks disheveled.
Yeah, that's his look is disheveled.
Yeah. Oh, he had a hoodie on with dirty shorts and sneakers. Yeah, that's his By the way, that's not a new tactic. Because I remember when I took my cousin Vito to motor vehicles to take the picture for the license, we stopped at the bar and he got hammered. So when he took the picture, he was all like, "Whoa."
See, that's very smart. That's all about building out your base level so that, when you're...
Now he gets pulled over and they're like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like me, I like to, with my onset of baldness, I like to let my hair grow out because then when you actually cut it, people are like, oh, wow, you're looking pretty good. Your hair, somehow, it's like not as bad as when it was half looking George Costanza-like.
You're transitioning.
That's exactly right. It's all about transitioning.
This guy has a great setup. You become disheveled from day one. How are they going to know you're going off the deep end?
That's a very good point. I've always felt that with Fetterman, that basically his thing is, I
love that.
I'm at the low level already just by showing up and saying a couple words.
Seahorses.
Yeah, right, exactly. And suddenly I want pancakes. All right, so Fred Rubino is with us. He's a comedian. You can check him out, fredrubino.com, and see him perform. He's going to be at PaisanCon tomorrow in New Jersey, so we're looking forward to that. But you know what, Fred? We haven't yet gotten the porn name of the week out of you.
Well,
I have a good feeling about this next one that it's gonna be included.
I knew you would come. Your radar is up.
So flesh-eating parasites with sharp mouth hooks are prompting action from the U.S. And I'll let you tell us what the name is of this
They're
enemy.
called the New World Screwworm. There it is.
The New World Screwworm. That's now appearing on smut pages all across the United States.
Fred Rubino as Screwworm #1.
Yeah.
I tell you, as soon as I heard...
You're a good screwworm in some
Thank
ways.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As soon as I read flesh-eating parasite, I thought it was about Chuck Schumer. I think everybody did that. That's clickbait.
Yeah. Well, it is because, you get worried about anything that's flesh eating. Then you put the word parasite in there. Then you have mouth hooks.
Oh.
And it's like, well, of course we're talking about.
I think mouth hooks is Schumer's middle name. Chucky Mouth Hooks Schumer.
Yeah. I mean, in some ways, if he did have that name, it would make me think that he was like a turn-of-the-century boxer or something like
Mouth Hooks.
Mouth Hook Schumer.
Yeah.
Chucky Mouth Hook Schumer. Coming out of the corner, throwing a punch. Yeah, I can see that.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
This episode is brought to you by GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco. Get the most out of your vehicle with GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco original equipment. The only parts designed, engineered, tested, and backed by General Motors. You can find your perfect fit for most makes and models and choose from 3 tiers of parts, including GM OE or gold and silver aftermarket parts. Visit gmparts.com for more information.
Anyone can follow. It takes something special to be an original, which is why the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV arrives with new ways of surrounding you in luxury, including the ultra-wide 48-inch panoramic display and the multi-sensory Lincoln Rejuvenate experience. A true original never stops evolving. So meet the 2025 Navigator, the original that's all new and better than ever. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Lincoln and Navigator are trademarks of Ford or its affiliates.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
You know, and now they said it's not in America. It's in South America and Central America, but they're afraid it's going to spread into Mexico.
Oh.
So finally there's something sneaking into Mexico. You know? And I don't even think I think Mexico is so horrific that the screwworm is going to take a look at Mexico and say, you know what? I could do better than Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Belize.
That's actually probably a good point. Yeah, adult screwworm flies are apparently similar to or slightly larger than the common housefly, but they have orange eyes, a metallic blue or green body, and 3 dark stripes along their back.
Wow.
The parasite,
very flamboyant.
They are. They've got some real style.
Worms.
They've got some real style. And
I got to start dressing better if I'm going to be.
If you're going to be the screwworm, you do. And also, you probably want to know a thing or two about their maggots.
Oh.
The parasite actually gets its name from how the larvae, resulting maggots, feed on animals. They'll burrow or screw into the wound or opening.
Now, those maggots are a delicacy in Kenya.
Just don't get caught exporting them.
Don't get caught
Don't get smart
stealing
smuggling.
them. No.
All right, Fred Rubino. Check him out, fredrubino.com. He's going to be at PaisanCon and any other
Primetime Comedy Club tonight, East Windsor, New Jersey.
East Windsor, New Jersey, Friday night. Check him out, Fred Rubino, fredrubino.com. He's here with us every Friday, as we've come to expect that new
Whether
porn
you like
name.
it or not.
Whether you like it or not, on the other side of midnight, I'm James Flippin. He's Fred Rubino.